The last day before winter break was always the hardest to get through. Teachers had mentally checked out, students were restless, and the building itself seemed to hum with anticipation. Snow flurries swirled outside the long windows of Westbrook High, melting instantly on the glass. I sat in the back of Mr. Price's history class, half listening as he recited facts about the Cold War and half scrolling through my phone under the desk. It was 8th period, 40 minutes left until freedom. That's when the intercom clicked on. Attention all faculty and students. The principal's voice was tight, shaky. This is not a drill. Initiate lockdown procedures immediately. Every muscle in my body went cold. Mr. Price stopped mid-sentence, eyes darting toward the door. All right, everyone to the corner. Lights off. Quiet. Desks scraped against the linoleum as we moved. The fluorescent hum above us faded as he flicked the switch, plunging the room into dim twilight. Outside in the hallway, the sound of slamming doors rippled down the corridor. For the first few minutes, no one spoke. My friend Jenna sat next to me, her knee bouncing like a jackhammer. Probably just a drill, she mouthed, though her eyes said otherwise. Then came the footsteps. Slow, heavy, deliberate. They echoed down the hall, pausing every few seconds, as though whoever it was stopped to listen. My heart thudded in my throat. A shadow passed under the crack of the classroom door. Whoever it was, they just stood there. 5 seconds. 10. Then a sudden rattle of the handle. One of the freshmen gasped. Mr. Price put a finger to his lips, his other hand gripping the nearest desk, like it was an anchor. The footsteps moved on. We waited. After what felt like an hour, but was probably 5 minutes, the hallway filled with sound again. Not footsteps this time, dragging, something scraping along the lockers, and a voice, low, raspy, almost conversational. Come out. Come out. I know you're in there. Jenna's nails dug into my arm. The voice moved past our door, fading toward the east wing. Somewhere distant, something metallic clanged against the floor. Then, silence. No one moved. At last, the intercom clicked again. This time, it wasn't the principal. A different voice. Male, unfamiliar. They can't keep you in there forever. The line went dead. We stayed in lockdown for another half hour before Officer Bailey, the school resource officer, came to escort us to the gym. Every hallway we passed through felt heavier, darker. Students whispered to each other in trembling tones, their faces pale. The story spread quickly. A man had been spotted inside the building, wandering without a visitor pass. A teacher confronted him near the science wing, and he'd bolted. No one knew how he'd gotten in, or where he'd gone. Police swept the school, but the man wasn't found. Eventually, they released us to go home, with a promise of enhanced security after break. I should have been relieved. But that night, lying in bed, I couldn't shake the image of that shadow under the door. The way it didn't move. The voice on the intercom that wasn't supposed to be there. 2 nights later, I found out something that made my stomach knot. Jenna texted me a photo, blurry, taken from her bedroom window. A man, standing on the sidewalk across from her house, wearing a dark coat, looking straight at the camera. She swore she'd seen him before. The next morning, her parents called the police. Officers came, took statements, and drove around the neighborhood. Nothing. School resumed after break with new cameras, locked side entrances, and a sign-in system for visitors. But the tension never left. Every creak of the old building made people turn their heads. It was a week later when the second lockdown happened. We were in the cafeteria this time. The first sound was the alarm, a sharp, repeating beep, followed by that same brittle announcement. Lockdown now. This is not a drill. The lunch monitors herded us into the kitchen storage room. My hands shook as I pulled the door close behind me. The room smelled of metal shelving and overripe bananas. Then I heard it. Footsteps again. Closer. This time, they didn't stop at the hallway. They came right up to the kitchen door. The handle turned once, twice, and then, softly, 3 knocks. And the same voice, quiet and deliberate. I told you I'd be back. When the door finally burst open 20 minutes later, it was Officer Bailey, not the stranger. He told us they'd caught someone near the loading dock, a man in a dark coat, carrying nothing but an old walkie-talkie and a scrap of paper with 4 names written on it. Mine was the first. That was 3 months ago. The police say he's still in custody, undergoing psychiatric evaluation. They say he can't hurt anyone now. But last night, as I walked home from the bus stop, I passed the old chain link fence by the field, and through the gaps in the metal, I saw a shadow, not moving, just waiting.